Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pushing higher and we can maintain our bullish perspective about the chart. There's absolutely nothing that would prove the analysis wrong at the moment. So we are still following the bullish thesis here, and we talked in previous videos about the idea that this fifth wave to the upside should take us to 90, maybe 100K. It really depends on where that wave 2 here will, if we get another deeper wave 2, basically that's the thing. One scenario is that the wave 2, this pullback already bottomed on Thursday, and in another scenario we could still get a wave 2, but I will have to adjust the support zone together with the price as we climb higher. It's now at 56,690. So as long as we're holding this level, the focus is on higher prices. I could be wrong about it, but at the moment, there is nothing that that would prove the bullish analysis wrong. Bear in mind, we've been observing this wave 4 correction between March and July. Also here, I maintained a bullish perspective because as long as we're holding the support area, there's literally nothing that would confirm a bear market, something more bearish. Again, here we had a lot of bearish news came out at the low point. It was the German government sending BTC, it was Mt. Gox, Again, all of that has been proven wrong again, which is often why I say the most bearish news comes out around low points, around key inflection points. And all we needed to do was to watch the levels, the risk management levels. Again, I say it all the time. Elliott Wave is not a crystal ball, but it can tell us the pivots, the key levels where we would like to see the price turn around, where actually the price should turn around. And of course, you can't predict every twist and turn in the market on the smallest time frames. Again, it's not a crystal ball, but it helps us to understand where reward and risk is or are in a favorable relationship. That was definitely the case down here, and yep, it could have formed another low. It didn't need to, and it was good for it to turn around because the 50.6K level here was literally the last bullish level left in this overall scenario. The idea therefore has been and still is that we should see one more high here in wave 5 of a larger third wave, and it should be a 5-wave move itself. And at the moment, the question is mainly around, are we still in a wave 1, which would be quite large? Or has the wave 1 already finished and wave 2 already bottomed as well, and we are starting a third of a third wave? If we are in a third, not the third of a third, but a third wave. If we are in a third wave, this one here, of wave 5, if we are in the third wave, we should know quite quickly, because it would typically lead to a strong surge, and it would be the time to start it now. And that would take us above 72K next. First of all, 70K, that's one of the resistance levels on the smaller time frame. 72K, 75, and then into the direction of 80, 85 plus. So 75,100 is another Fibonacci resistance level. I'm going to watch for a wave 2 pullback to still occur. Of course, at the moment there is no sign of a wave 2, but it's still something that we need to consider. So all the box shows here is a risk area. It's the area where the price, if it needs to, could move into. So that could happen, for example, before we get a breakout. It doesn't need to happen before we get a breakout, but if it happens, then it could be another opportunity. So a lot of people I know wait for another pullback, myself included, but the thing is, even if it doesn't happen, you need to be prepared for it, right? That's why ideally everybody who needed to accumulated more in the box. Okay, so this is the, as I mentioned many times, the stable element on the chart. This is where ideally, accumulation happened, right? And if we get another chance, if the market makes another pullback available, there could be another opportunity. But it's looking good. And bear in mind, we were watching for the MACD to give us bullish signals. They are still pushing. MACD is still pushing. And the RSI is holding in the bullish range. After a breakout of our trend lines, it's been holding in the bullish range. And there is no bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Very important. Not visible. Yeah. And therefore, focus can be on higher. Still, looking at the shorter time frame. Let's talk about the shorter time frame structure here. Again, it is fragile, and I would encourage everybody to stay sort of on this time frame, 1 hour, 30-minute time frame. Anything smaller than that is too speculative, really, for anything reliable. And before we talk about this live chart, let's take a look at what was communicated yesterday on Twitter, X. Make sure that you follow us here as well for additional updates. There's lots of updates. There's lots of stuff about mindset as well. Just make sure that you follow the correct account, the correct handle. You'll find the link in the description as well. So you get additional updates here as well from time to time. And again, stuff about mindset. The idea communicated overnight was that Bitcoin has gained upside momentum again. 70K and 72K are the next structural resistances. We've now arrived at 70K already. The short-term trend is up as long as the Saturday low is holding. Above 72,470, I will start to assume wave 3 of 3 is already unfolding to the upside. So both counts bullish. Yeah, the trend is up on both counts, even in the yellow count, which allows for another dip into the lower support region. Well, it would be a bullish scenario, but even short term, the trend is up and there's no sign that this larger wave 2 has started. So that's all bullish, okay? And we've arrived at the next resistance level. Trend is up. I will make you aware as soon as I see a top in place, okay? And then we can also adjust the support areas as long as the price keeps going up. That's very important because these support areas are based on Fibonacci mathematics. So they are measured from the low point to the high point. And depending on how far we stretch out, you know, in the same way, these Fib levels do adjust as well. So again, yellow count means we have an extension in wave 1. That means we have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. This could be wave 5. And, you know, as I said before, we're dealing with a diagonal. So the wave 5 might just be an A, B, C structure. But above 72,470, this will become less likely. And the more directly bullish scenario will gain more traction. See, it's always about, we've got two scenarios. They are both bullish, so they're not really too different. One allows for a pullback. But there are certain Fibonacci guidelines, or let's call them Elliott Wave guidelines, where, you know, as long as the price still holds below a certain level, we can follow the yellow count, or focus on it, you could say. Even though I should rather say I'm watching for a wave 2 pullback at the moment, right? As long as we hold below the key pivot, 72,470. Above that level, the white count, which is more directly bullish, will fulfill more of the Elliott Wave guidelines. And if a wave count fulfills more Elliott Wave guidelines than the other, then this one is typically the working count, the one that's currently in control. And that will be the white count above 72,470, and above 75,110, I will probably take the yellow one off the chart. The yellow one just is also bullish. It just means we still have to consider the possibility of a deeper wave 2. Couldn't take it off the chart now, because if I do, and then we get a deeper pullback, people will ask, what's going on? What's going on? Now, if we get a deeper pullback, we can focus on this as a wave 2. Now, it takes, however, and that was communicated clearly, a break below 64,817 it is now, but it's basically the lower boundary of the box. Again, it will have to be adjusted with the price. But it takes the break below that lower boundary of the upper support area to confirm that the larger wave 2 is unfolding. Until then, the trend is up more directly. It's even possible, and that's very bullish, and I rarely chart like that, because often it's not the case, but this here could be interpreted as a 1-2, 1-2, maybe another 1-2 setup that we're working on, right? But that would mean we have 3 1-2 setups in a row, which means the price needs to break out now, break above 72,470 and 75K next to really confirm the white count further. But both are bullish. I'd be happy either way. A direct breakout means the core positions and all the other positions are, and plus the altcoins will probably move up as well. whereas a pullback would offer another opportunity. So I think it's quite simple to trade this chart. Pullbacks are opportunities, and any other position, well, ideally hold it, Don't get too small with your positions. I think I can say that as just some recommendation, really advice. But generally, when a market is moving up in a really bullish way, and there is a chance for really bullish movement, because this situation is probably the best that we've had in a long time, most positive price action in a long time, then it's wise not to get too small with positions. But I think everybody in the community knows that by now, that it makes sense to hold a core position for Bitcoin and trade around it with smaller positions. And these smaller positions can be scaled up in pullbacks, and you can take some profits when it rallies. But don't get too small with your core position until we have some evidence that the bull market is over. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.